preparation and conditioning.
I think the most important thing Kubrick demonstrated in his films was the manipulation of information by authority figures and governments to get what they want.
Now last, and possibly most important, I want all privately owned radios to be immediately impounded.
Yes, sir.
They might be used to issue instructions to saboteurs. As I previously arranged, Air Police will have lists of all owners, and I want every single one of them collected without exception.
I found this cover story personally embarrassing myself. However, I accept the need for absolute secrecy in this. And I hope you will too. Now, I'm sure you're all aware of the extremely grave potential for cultural shock and social disorientation contained in this present situation, if the facts were prematurely and suddenly made public without adequate preparation and conditioning. Anyway, this is the view of the Council.
It is no secret that this government has lost a lot of popularity because of you, my boy. There are some who think that at the next election we shall be out. The press has chosen to take a very unfavorable view of what we tried to do. But public opinion has a way of changing, and you, Alex, if I may call you Alex.
Certainly, sir. What do they call you at home?
My name is Frederick. As I was saying, Alex, you can be instrumental in changing the public's verdict. Do you understand, Alex? Do I make myself clear?
I'll rewrite it and give it a happy ending. Say, one killed. Make it a sapper or an officer. Which?
Whichever you say.
Grunts like reading about dead officers.
Okay, an officer. How about a general?
Joker, maybe you'd like our guys to read the paper and feel bad. And in case you didn't know it, this is not a particularly popular war. Now, it is our job to report the news that these, why are we here, civilian newsmen ignore.
Okay, Bill, let's cut the bullshit, all right? You've been way out of your depth for the last 24 hours. You want to know what kind of a charade? I'll tell you exactly what kind. That whole play-acted, take-me, phony sacrifice that you've been jerking yourself off with had absolutely nothing to do with her real death. Nothing happened to her after you left that party that hadn't happened to her before. She got her brains fucked out, period. When they took her home, she was just fine. And the rest of it is right there in the paper. She was a junkie. She OD'd. There was nothing suspicious. Her door was locked from the inside. The police are happy. End of the story.
The controlling and censoring of information from the public is what gives people power over one another. Propaganda is a non-violent weapon used by authorities to preserve their power and in most cases abuse it. It is ironic that such a notoriously private man like Kubrick would be such an advocate for openness in his films, but never practiced it in his real life.
Forever, 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 forever.
One moment of pain, perhaps, and then sleep. Forever and ever and ever.
Come play with us, Daddy. Forever and ever and ever.
But always remember this. Marines die. That's what we're here for. But the Marine Corps lives forever. And that means you live forever.
The important thing is we're awake now. And hopefully for a long time to come. Forever.
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 Let's not use that word, you know. It frightens me.
Bathrooms. Prominent shots of bathrooms appear in most Kubrick films. I don't know if this is some sort of Freudian statement or just a simple Easter egg joke that he places in all of his movies. You be the judge. What's in a name? Changing one's identity through name or costume occurs in many Kubrick characters.
What's your name, fat body?
Sir, Leonard Lawrence, sir.
Lawrence what, of Arabia?
Sir, no, sir.
I don't like the name Lawrence. Only faggots and sailors are called Lawrence. From now on, you're Gomer Pyle.
Sir, yes, sir.
Roll of ship
Stranger.
can store all the information.
What kind of a name is that? That ain't no kraut name, is it, Stanley?
25
He changed it when he became a citizen. It used to be McVertigliebe. A kraut by any other name, huh, Stanley?
I think Kubrick was trying to make the point that nobody is exactly who they say they are, or appear to be on the outside. Twins. Literal twins and metaphorical twins are used by Kubrick repeatedly. You can interpret this in many ways. I think it refers to Joker's duality of man statement and the good and evil sides of man's personality. But I'll leave that up to you. Mirrors. And lots of them. Connected to the twin theme is the use of mirrors. For Kubrick, a shot of a character using a mirror means that they are concealing something from another person or realizing something about themselves for the first time.
Human error.
Kubrick depicted many acts of hubris and mistakes made by his characters in his films. Some were large and some were small, but nearly all of them ended in tragedy. In Sumont's book, Kubrick elaborated that no sane person would launch nuclear weapons because it would certainly lead to mutually assured destruction. So a nuclear war could only happen as depicted in Dr. Strangelove by accident, miscalculation, or by madness. The creation of the Doomsday Machine was an accident. It was created by false intelligence that said America was building one of their own.
But the deciding factor was when we learned that your country was working along similar lines, and we were afraid of a doomsday gap.
This is preposterous. I've never approved of anything like that.
Our source was the New York Times.
The destruction of the planet was caused by a threat that didn't even exist. One of the biggest blunders shown in a Kubrick film is Dave leaving his helmet behind while rescuing Frank. Because of this mistake, Dave nearly kills himself before Hal ever has a chance to. Jack's overconfidence and madness causes him to forget about the cold and get lost in the maze. These clumsy mistakes lead to him accidentally killing himself. The Lust Hog Squad made a fate very similar to Jack's. But instead of getting lost in a hedge maze, they get lost in a maze of rubble. They lose their place on the map, and instead of following their tracks backward to safety, they continue going forward blind. This becomes a fatal mistake. In Eyes Wide Shut, the mistakes made by Dr. Bill are pretty obvious and ridiculous.
Of course, it didn't help a whole lot that those people arrived in limos and you showed up in a taxi. Or that when they took your coat, they found the receipt from the rental house in your pocket made out to, you know who?
Only Henry.
Kubrick was fascinated by human nature and the human mind, so there is no surprise that he would be interested in dreams. He even tried to make Eyes Wide Shut feel like a bad dream to the viewer.
Dr. Poole, what's it like while you're in hibernation?
Well, it's exactly like being asleep. You have absolutely no sense of time. The only difference is that you don't dream.
When I was all smashed up, you know, and half awake and unconscious like, I kept having this dream. And like all these doctors were playing around with me Gulliver. You know, like the inside of my brain. I seem to have this dream over and over again. Do you think it means anything?
Patients who've sustained the kind of injuries you have often have dreams of this sort. It's all part of the recovery process.
Ah.
Most terrible nightmare I ever had. It's the most horrible dream I ever had.
It's okay now. Really.
I dreamed that I killed you and Danny. But I didn't just kill you. I cut you up into little pieces. Oh, my God. I must be losing my mind.
Remember, it's just a bad dream, fat boy.
Alice? Alice? It's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I woke you up, but I thought you were having a nightmare.
Oh, God. Oh, I just had such a horrible dream.
Quick face shots. Battleship Potemkin by Eisenstein is the earliest example of an extreme close-up used for dramatic effect. Kubrick had used these unsettling shots many times in his career. And finally, dying on your birthday. This is the ultimate irony displayed by Kubrick.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Frank. Happy birthday to you. See you next Wednesday.
Happy birthday, Frank.
Thank you, Hal.
Brian, when is your birthday?
Next Tuesday.
Well, you'll just have to wait till then to find out.
Then it's true. Thank you, Papa.
Promise me you will not ride that horse except in the company of your father.
Yes, Mama, I promise.
And I promise your lordship a good flogging if you even so much as go to Doolan's farm to see him before your birthday.
Yes, Papa.
You understand that?
Yes, Papa.
You promise me?
Yes, Papa, I promise.
This is his party. He's the guest of honor. Today is his birthday.
Happy birthday, Zipperhead.
Thanks for watching.